Okay. Hey, this is Bill Burns with Live with Bill Burns. I appreciate you tuning in, where we bring community leaders and business leaders to you here on social media. Remember last week we asked you to share the post, and we gave away a Domino's gift card. So this week for sharing, Mike Mugler is the winner, and after the program we'll get in touch with you and make sure you get your gift card. This week, if you share and like the post, you get free coffee at Starbucks. So make sure you share and like this post as well. Today, we have with us Wendy Dant Chesser. Wendy is the president and CEO of One Southern Indiana, an organization dedicated to providing connections, resources, and services that help businesses innovate, thrive in Floyd County, in Clark and Floyd County region. Wendy currently serves as the chairperson for Indiana Economic Development Association after serving as its legislative chair for 3 years. Locally, she serves on multiple boards of directors. Wendy has received many awards and recognitions for her work. In 2018, she was named Economic Development Professional of the Year. My friend and a friend to businesses in Southern Indiana and government, I'm proud to welcome Wendy Dant Chesser.
Thanks so much, Bill. It's great to be on your show, and this is the first time I've done this with you, so I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah. So, I said a lot about One Southern Indiana, but I'm assuming there's a lot of people on here that are like, what is that? I've never heard of it. So can you give them a little synopsis of what One Southern Indiana does for the community?
Sure. One Southern Indiana was formed in its current state in 2006. And we have two functions for both Clark and Floyd counties. The first is that we're the Chamber of Commerce. So we have, as of last week, we have 1,069 business members. Those are businesses that are active with the chamber. They are joining the chamber side of the organization in order to get those member benefits, such as networking opportunities, ways to promote their business, ways to educate themselves on what's going on in the business world. And also to really connect into different things that are happening in the community. So from the chamber side of the organization, we're really focusing on networking and promoting and helping you grow your business. The other side of what we do is economic development. And that's where we're either attracting businesses into the community with many of our economic development partners, or in a lot of cases, we're helping existing businesses that are already here grow and expand. And so we've had a great partnership with the city, with River Ridge, with the counties, and the entire region on really focus on economic growth in our communities. The thing about economic development, and this is true on the chamber side as well, we stand by the practice that, or the motto that the best social program in the world is a good paying job. So the more that we can do in our community to make sure that we have good paying jobs for people to go to, and that our people have the skills to work in those companies, the better off our community is going to be, both in the short term and the long term.
Yeah. And our market's been a hub for expansion. Probably more growth in Southern Indiana with River Ridge than any place in the state, I would imagine. Would you agree there?
I would challenge any place in the country based on per capita to look at what to match what we're doing. We've got a great product to sell, and that's the best part about it. If you look at the infrastructure that we have here, the transportation and logistics opportunities, you look at the collaborations we have with education, all the way from K through 12 up to higher education. Businesses met here, and being part of a metro area with over 1 million people doesn't hurt us at all either.
Yeah. With COVID-19 upon us, have you seen that landscape change with people inquiring about, locating here or pulling back or anything?
Yes, we have seen it change. And it's changed in two different ways. First, there are some projects that have been put on hold. And when we know that while business is in this wait and see mentality, the one thing that business looks for is certainty. They want to eliminate as many risks as they possibly can. When times are uncertain, it's hard to eliminate risk. So there have been those projects that have been put on hold. But I am an optimist because the phones are still ringing. And the other piece that we're looking for is that companies that are considering this area, if they had a project, they're either rushing it through to get to the finish line, which is great news for us, or some of the new projects that are coming in, they're looking for existing buildings instead of greenfield sites where they would have to plan and build their own facility, which tells me there's a sense of urgency in the marketplace. They want to get in, and once they make a decision, they want to become operational as soon as possible. So we're seeing, of course, but in other companies, they're also seeing areas in which we're seeing an acceleration or an excitement about that project. So that's balanced, if you will. I'm not sure if all areas of the state or even the country are seeing it that way, but that's what we're seeing in Clark and Floyd counties.
Yeah. I know I said on the planning and zoning.
I've lost the audio again.
You with us now?
Let's try one more time. Hang on.
Okay.
Sorry, Bill, I can't hear you. Can you try again?
Can you hear me now?
No, I'm not getting the audio. Technology is great when it works, right?
Correct.
I had a boss who once said that the devil lives in audio-visual equipment, and I think that's right.
He must be staying in my office sometime.
Well, let me finish that thought, and hopefully the audio will pop back on here in just a second. We know that that's what the business attraction world looks like, and we are still seeing some expansion. So there are companies that are looking to expand even during this time, and those are the ones that we want to take the best care of. They're already here, they've already committed to our community, and we're really hoping that they will continue to be strong for us here in the short term and the long term.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah. Well, as I was going to say just a second ago, I sat on the planning and zoning in Jeffersonville, and our agenda is no way short due to the fact of COVID. We had an astronomical amount of projects being approved this past meeting, and already have a full docket for the next meeting. So exciting things are happening in our region. As in my business with COVID, the real estate business, I tell our people that we're doing business unusual, and we will never probably go back to doing business the same way. I think this will change the landscape, the way people do businesses for generations. And one of the things that I've seen the chamber has done is similar to our business. Our meetings and appointments have all went to these virtual meetings like this. So the chamber, our One South Indiana, has been doing some of their seminars online and broadcasting them to social media. And I have no doubt it's like our city council meetings. We're seeing hundreds, if not over 1,000 views of people watching that meeting. In a typical meeting, we'd only see half a dozen people. So our mission is getting accomplished even better because we're connecting with people in a much greater. So besides those meetings, has anything else changed in your business?
Well, I think we've seen the same thing. Engagement from businesses has definitely changed. Businesses, nobody, as I've said this before, nobody had a pandemic playbook, so they didn't know how to operate their business during all of this, during shutdown, and it's affected a lot of different companies a lot of different ways. So what they're looking for are answers to their questions when they have that question, and what they have at 8 o'clock on Monday morning and what they need at 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon is typically completely different because of the rate of change as we're all going through this together. We've done a couple of Ask the Expert series on Facebook Live with HR attorneys. We've had some marketing people on that have done have given some great advice. We had Mike Benson from A1 Porta Potties on talking about sanitation. How do you really keep things clean? He knows a lot about that. But we tried to have some light as well as some heavier conversations. We've also adopted the webinar process. So we're doing mostly Zoom, but we've tried all the different platforms as well. We're doing Zoom and still learning, but we're trying to get information to people as they need it. Tony Watterson from the Work One office that covers this region did one and just sort of talked about what employers need to know as they're bringing employees back into the workforce. so we were able to bring that out. We also had Vaughn Scott talk about how businesses should be planning to not only survive, but also to thrive post-COVID. So getting companies thinking that way. And I'll announce now that we have one on Wednesday with Dr. Uric Dufresne over at IU Southeast, who's going to be talking about what the national statistics mean for our region. What does the forecast look like? So giving us reasons to keep businesses in the forefront, what their immediate needs are, and how we go about serving them continues to be the focus of the One Southern Indiana organization.
I think one of the strengths of our area is the people, and our people are very resilient, and we're so fortunate that we're resilient sometimes to what happens in other markets, on the East and West Coast. So I do feel strongly that we will come back strong, if not stronger, from the pandemic here in the Midwest. So I'm also proud that, as I serve on the Jeffersonville City Council, and we created a program called Jeffersonville Sustains so that we could help businesses in Jeffersonville. And we partnered with One Southern Indiana to help us administer this grant program. You want to give some details about that?
Sure. The Jeffersonville Sustains Program it's a loan program, and it has a forgivable aspect to it, but it is really focused on those businesses that are forward facing or public facing, meaning the public can walk in and do business with your entity. It's really set up for those that are locally owned and operated, so those small businesses. And as you hear that the federal programs have assisted a lot of our businesses in our area through the Paycheck Protection Program or the PPP program, you hear a lot of companies that are benefiting from that, but there's that segment of small companies that just may not be getting the resources that they need. So we're thrilled to be partnering with the city of Jeffersonville, and the Jeffersonville Sustains Program will provide up to a $5,000 forgivable loan to businesses that meet that criteria. That loan application will be live definitely on the website by Wednesday morning. It may be up sooner than that, and we will have paper applications available at City Hall for folks to pick up. But with a return date of Monday, the 18th of May at 5 o'clock, we'll be able to start evaluating whether or not the businesses are eligible for those $5,000 forgivable loan. And what we mean by a forgivable loan, and we've worked this program out with others in the community, is that those dollars would be transferred into the company's bank account, hopefully by Memorial Day or shortly after. And then no payment on that loan would be due until October of 2020. So you've got several months before any payment is due. The payment amount is $100 a month. And if you're clean through the end of 2021, then the balance will be forgivable. So let's just do the math real quick. If you're a forward-facing business and you apply for a $5,000 loan, then you would basically, from October to December of 2021, pay back what would equate to be $1,500, and the rest would be forgiven. That's a pretty good deal. And it's really helping these companies at a time that they need it. As businesses are reopening, as they're making changes in their store, they're needing dollars to pay their rent. They may have employees that they're bringing back, and they need to make sure that those employees can get paid before they're up and going. This could be enough of what it was going to take to save some of these small businesses that are most threatened at this time.
And, really, I don't know if most people realize small business is the backbone to our community, and the small business is what means so much. So, I can't encourage you enough as they reopen to continue, patronizing those businesses and trying to help them out. But we're so glad to partner with the Chamber or with One Southern Indiana. By doing that, we were able to get this program put together quickly and try to get the money in the hands of the small businesses that need it in a timely manner. So we appreciate your help with that.
We appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Yeah. Are there other programs out there? I know you have worked with some other programs. Are there still some available, or other places businesses might want to look?
Before the city of Jeffersonville's commitment last week, we had, through the generosity of several donors in the community, for-profit donors, nonprofit foundations, and other governments, we had raised $976,000 and had distributed almost all of it through the programs. So we're so fortunate that we have that type of generosity. So if you add the 976,000 to the up to 250,000 the city of Jeffersonville committed, that just goes to show this community knows how to take care of each other. And the better we are at taking care of each other in times of need, the more opportunities are going to be ahead of us when we get past this crisis.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else you'd like to add about the chamber and your work there?
Well, I would say that I would encourage everyone to just sort of put a note of caution. We're not out of the woods yet on this. This is still a health issue. And the one thing that I think that we've learned, and as Bill, I'm sure in the many roles you play, you've seen too, if we don't have healthy people, you can't have a healthy economy. And
Right.
so we have to recognize that public health is important and we have to do our parts. I'm a hugger. This is going to be hard for me when I go out and see people again, not to give them big hugs, but I don't think that's in our best interest. You'll see me wear a mask. I don't have any concerns about wearing a mask if it's protecting others. And I think that we have to all do our part on making sure that the numbers don't spike, because if they do, the governor has been very clear in his back on track plan, what's going to cause us, what we're going to monitor to cause a reversion. And we have to do our part for that. So from the City Hall's perspective, I know you guys are open today, so more power to you, and serve those citizens. And as people come in, and I ask that they be a little bit patient, they be a little more understanding, because everybody's trying to keep themselves and their family members safe. And that's really what the whole purpose of the shutdown has been. So let's make it work.
Yeah. And I think we should also mention, places are reopening. Some of them are opening at limited capacity, limited staff. If you don't need to go, she mentioned City Hall, if you could make a phone call and get that taken care of, limit your interaction with those people, because I have no doubt, Governor Holcomb has done an excellent job. He recognizes we have to open the state back up. But if the numbers start to spike and overwhelm the healthcare networks, I know for sure he'll start pulling back on his plans. So let's be smart and use the best practices as set forth by CDC and the governor, so that we can continue that July 4th date being completely back open. So how can somebody find out more information about One Southern Indiana if they'd like to?
I would love for them. I'm so glad you asked. Our website is not only where the information that I've talked about will be located, but everything about our organization is there. And I'll give that to you. It's www.onesi.org. The number one, the letter S, the letter I.org. And at the top of our homepage, you'll see a COVID-19, all of the resources. There are resources there if you are looking for a sample plan on how to reopen your business. We've got those resources there. The loan application that we mentioned will be up on that website. And I encourage everybody who's looking for more information about what does this mean for me? What does this mean for our business community? We're putting as much up there as we can. So the biggest challenge businesses are saying right now is that they cannot find the personal protection equipment, the PPE. So we're putting all the resources we can locate up on that website, and that's continuously being upgraded.
Right. Well, Wendy, we do appreciate your work here in the community and the support that you've given local businesses, helping them through this time. Remember, like and share this post, and look for information out today, who will be our guest next week. We appreciate you joining today, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.